Right, we're on the Juvanze complex. We've been here before. We visited Blue and that was brilliant. You've probably seen that video on our channel if you haven't. There's a link at the end of this, you can see that. And we're with the owner this time, Jeff. We're going to be fishing a relatively new water of yours, aren't we, this time? Juvana?
Yeah, Juvana's, we actually got the name, we took the name Juvanze and my daughter's name, Anna, and that's where it's come from, Juvana.
What's that one about then? What are you trying to aim to achieve with this water?
It was an uncompromised social venue where it's designed for four mates to come together. You're all fishing from a central point on an island. You've got your own sort of quarter of the lake, spread out enough to not sort of experience tangles and encroach each other's swims, and it's all very defined, and you're there with your mates.
I think what appealed to me booking was that you're on an island and you walk out to the middle of the lake, this island's in the middle, and you get your own quarter. All these facilities, TV, electric, fridge. I believe you're adding an oven and a microwave over there?
It's going to be microwave, oven, toaster, all cooking facilities, and we've recently installed Wi-Fi on the island as well. It's a real holiday venue, you know.
Like I say, the main appeal for us being here is we're with two people who've never been to France before.
Yeah.
Me and Lewis have been a few times. They've never been to France. Said about giving them a good experience. Not we can get these two guys we're with their first French fish, but we'll see how it goes and we'll get off fishing. Thanks for having us again. Thanks very much.
Thanks, lads.
Right, after having a chat with Jeff, with Daniel, we walked around Juvanze Lake, all four of us, just to have a little look around to decide what sort of swims we're going to go with. So we got back to the island. We had a rough idea of what we're going to go with. We'd done the draw, and lucky enough, I come out first. So I was quite pleased with that. It's still, you come out first, you think it's the easiest decision to decide where you're going to go. Not always the case. But yeah, I made the decision. Didn't go with the hot peg, which Jeff recommended. I went with what I saw rather than what I've been told. Fingers crossed I got it right. In terms of the rest of the draw, Dave come out second, Scott third, and Daniel fourth. Hopefully we can all have a few fish between us and all have a good week.
Right, so we've only just got here about an hour ago. Right, here you have it, first fish of the session. 25.10, and yeah, what a way to start the session. So for a few more like this. Right, second fish, and yeah, something a bit different, but no complaints. Straight off the mark within an hour, buzzing.
Fish didn't even move. Just dropped Scott's rig, and yeah, as you can see, the fish are straight on it. If you can see the black just underneath his bait where it's been dropped, there's literally one fish eating on his bait just as it's been dropped. It's actually ridiculous. Might even film a take here. He's been hit. He's got one. Well, as you can see, just from that take, what we call on camera, Scott's in. Literally seconds after being dropped. Fish were just getting straight on it. You got Dave assisted now with the other rod. It's just about being a bit proactive there. Yeah, as you guys can see, the fish they're there. They're still feeding on the spot, and it's stacked. So Dave's brought in his, believe he's brought in his other rod, and about to send it out. And Scotty's off the mark. And as you can see, Dave's already got it ready. He was just waiting for Scott to get out of the way before he sent that rod out. And he's away. Yeah, drop it.
My first fish out on Lake Juvana, £25 on the nose.
Dan, that was dodgy, mate.
Just like them sunglasses.
th fish of the day is Saturday. What a water for a bit of fun this is. 11 fish and we've only been fishing 3 hours. What a great little place. Hopefully we can continue it throughout the week. This one going just over £21.
Right, here we go. It's absolute carnage at the moment. It's the first day. Couldn't have expected the action to be as frantic as this. It is actually unbelievable. And I, at first, seem to be getting plagued with these little grass carp, and they've started getting a little bit bigger. And literally, I've just hoisted this up for the video, and Lewis has had an absolute one-toner. So I'm going to quickly slip this one back. We don't want to keep him out too long, and go and see what Lou's got. Happy days.
We left England. We basically left England at 1 in the morning, so we didn't sleep. Got here for about 1. By the time we set up, 2, 3. Carnage. I think this is probably number, what do you reckon, Dave? 16, 17?
Yeah, easily, maybe more.
And yeah, now we're not even casting on the hotspots now to try and get some sleep. The rods are still going off, so we might make a decision to reel in tonight. But you just never know if it's going to switch off, so it's one of those. Do we just reel in or do we keep going? We'll see. We'll see. I've got a feeling we're going to keep going. Decided that after learning from yesterday, we're going to go with mixing up a whole bucket of bait, all our bait combined. Everyone thinks it might be a lot or whatever, but this is 4 people's bait. And then we're going to go off with these little buckets throughout the day on the side thing and walk around and feed them. Dave's already been round this morning, fed a few spots, and he says they are having it, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, bright and early. When Scott woke me up this morning about 5:30 with his fish, I thought I'm going to take this opportunity, go and grab a quick shower, have a little walk round, and a few spots that we primed yesterday, I topped them up and they are having it.
That's it.
I think you might have him. Yep. See him come and pick your bait up, see him shake his head.
So it's the first real day since we got here. We didn't end up fishing last night. Most rods all came in, get some sleep, much needed. And then this morning we've done a quick lap of the lake, baited a few spots, come back round half an hour later and we've caught them in the act feeding. So we've got the little shotgun out, crept down, swung it out. Within minutes this one's ripped off. It's a bit of a death slide down there, but we got her in. Good old Arthur Wrap style. Cracking scales on this one, real starbursts, real hard fighting fish. So we're going to slip her back now, and just as I'm saying this, my other rod is absolutely torn off. And let's get back round there, leave this spot, put some bait on it, go and see if we can find some other opportunities.
Fish number 26 between the group. We're working as a team, so we're moving swims, we're going to areas where they're feeding. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're going to try and carry on, keep working, but to be honest, man, I don't know if we can keep this up because we're having to bounce the fish off spots, go round stalking, because, you know, as soon as you have a few, they move off the area to another area. So, but we're going to keep going because they are having it.
Hello, Scotty.
Hello, mate. Do you remember that bait I put in this morning?
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 fish feeding over it now.
No way.
I think it's time to get the shotgun rod out and do a bit of stalking.
Right, sweet. I'll get Lou with the rod now and we'll shoot round quick.
You've got him. Go and get the net.
Buzzing with this one, it was my turn to do a bit of stalking, so yeah, got the rod out. Within 5 minutes it's just tore off. Not only that, we've just watched it take the bait, and there's nothing more exciting than that. Lake Juvana, and yeah, it's definitely producing the goods in the first day. Fish number 30, get in. Let's get her back. Right, here we have it, 27-12, and what a fight this one. Yeah.
quadruple take. Fishes number 30, 34, 35, 36, 37, 40. 24 hours. Right, let's get them back, boys. Madness.
Second full day that we've been here, and this takes us up to half a century. We've barely been able to keep the rods in the water. It's been manic at times. We could do with about 4 runners. But yeah, it's great fun and real good average sizes. And the way things are going, I just can't see it ending. And it's only day 2.
Bigger than that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's something 10. 36. That's good, man.
Mate, get in there, mate.
Is that a PB like common and mirror?
Yeah. This is PB. These cows ain't gone around that way before.
Aren't they?
Right. Bit blown away with this one. Absolute melted off. And I struck into it, and straight away, the way it was hugging the bottom, I knew it was going to be a good one. It's the biggest one so far. It's only day 2, is it? Day 2 we're on. And if things carry on like this, God knows how many we're going to catch. But yeah, 36.6. It's actually a French PB for me. First time in France, couldn't have wished for anything more so far. Loving it.
Right, how about it? 27:10. We've all had a double take within a space of 30 minutes. It is kicking off. And this is one of the better ones for me. But Dave's got something special too. He's about to bring it just now.
crazy after dinner today. I think I've had 3 runs in 20 minutes. Dave's had 3. Scott's had, sorry, 5. Dave's had 5. I've had 3. Lewis has had 3. Scott's had 2. And it's probably been an hour after dinner. It's just crazy. There's rods everywhere, fish everywhere, baiting up. Trying to motivate each other not to stop really, to try and get for the bigger ones. Right, quadruple again, number 2. Let's get them back. Wicked.
Wicked!
Well chuffed.
Here we go. Well, look at the camera. Smile. Mate, it's quick. We got, and we're alive.
I don't know
And
how
one more.
this carp.
Well, we're sliding. I'm trying to do the remote. And again. Hey. And one more. One more, lads. Mate, you'll pay top dollar for this back at home. Right, here we have it, 32 pounds. Had this one this morning. Yeah, it's the biggest one for me of the session. So chuff with this one.
Fish number 75. We're all knackered. We're going to reel in for a couple of hours. Go to the supermarket. Have some beers. Freshen up and then get the rods back out.
Right, triple take. God knows how many triple takes we've had. We're going to have a reel in like Scotty said, but then all 3 of our rods went off. So yeah, we're definitely reeling in now and we're going to have a break for a couple of hours. 76, 77, 78. Crazy. Believe it or not, these fish are so on the munch that Dave actually had this one yesterday and I've had it today, which is crazy. But what a fish, and I'm really happy with it still. We both got to meet her, makes us both happy, doesn't it?
Lovely times. Lovely brace with Dan. A nice 28 and a 36. And just getting some snaps. And my last rod in the water has just melted off. So I'm going to get this one back quick and go and see what's on the end. I've lost count of how many fish we've had now. It's just been unbelievable. Here we go. This takes our group tally to number 84. We decided to have dinner on the island today because we wanted to keep the rods in to make the most of the productive feeding time. And it's paid off. We've had 5 in the last 40 minutes. And this is another 30 for the tally. £30 8 ounce, buzzing, and flying. Team effort, everyone's grafting, and I think by everyone helping each other, it's really paying dividends.
Dave, you had a knock on your rod.
What one?
Middle. Dave, you're in. Dave, you're in. Right, here we have it. This is our 97 fish between 4 of us. We're trying to make the 100 mark. It has slowed down a bit, but we keep pushing. We keep trying to find new spots. And yeah, we're going to keep at it until we hit the 100 mark. So we slip this one back and keep at it.
He's got a take. So here we go, a little milestone we set ourselves to reach 100 fish, and this is 99, 100, 101. We realised when we started getting through them that working as a team was going to be far more productive than all doing our own thing. So we began to go around, we had spotters looking for fish, we had people guiding the boats out, we had people baiting, people manning the island, people doing the rods, and it's paid off. And we've had a great week, lads, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Right, here we have it, just shy of 30. We've had well over 100 fish now. Here's one of the better ones. We'll have a proper tally up and get back to you.
I don't know if the photos will work here, mate.
Why?
What do you mean why?
It's part of the effect, isn't it?
What, missed?
You know what the models do, don't they, when they walk out the catwalk?
Oh, I don't.
Isn't it, Dave?
What's that, mate?
And the models, when they go out the catwalk, they have the steam coming up. Right, firstly I'm going to have to apologise for all the smoke. Dave's just lit the barbecue. Yeah, what a great time to do it right now. Just had this 29 and yeah, he's on the barbie.
final night, and I've managed the biggest fish of my session.
Okay, so my approach for Lake Juvana was I went in with the basis in mind to fish pop-ups, out-and-out pop-ups on all 3 rods. Hook bait choice was for me another no-brainer. The ever faithful IBs, take them everywhere I go. All I do is though, I do boost them a little with a combination of goos, just because I think it gives it that little bit extra, you know, that little extra edge. Constantly sort of letting off a little bit of attraction. And, well, why change something that always works for me? The reason I went with pop-ups, and I went on all 3 rods with pop-ups, once the action was quite frantic, I realised that I needed a hook bait and a rig that could reset quite easily. If I was getting picked up, or I was getting ejected, or I was getting moved about by the fish, I wanted a rig that could reset and be always fishing, as we say. So I always had a chance of going. I think that worked really well for me personally. Once all 3 rods started going on the IBs, I didn't have any reason to change. I was quite lucky I came second in the draw, which gave me a good choice. And I chose to jump in next to Lewis, which probably commanded the second most amount of water, I'd say. Plenty of options in front of me, so I settled for the point to the right, and I had a nice big overhanging willow that I shared with Lewis. It was a real good hotspot for both of us. I managed to pick off the bigger fish from my side of the willow, and action was relentless. And we worked really well on that willow. We helped each other get the rods out every time. We both consistently baited it. When I weren't baiting it, Lewis was baiting it. When he weren't baiting it, I was going around and scoping it and looking for fish, and vice versa. So we really came together as a team, not just me and Lewis, but all 4 of us. We all helped each other out in that respect. I also did have a lot of open water in front of me, which during the night times I probably fished more. In the days I fished the margins, the far margins, the outskirts, because that's where the fish were holding up. That deeper water paid dividends for me, especially as the shallower side of the lake, where Dan and Scott were, that dried up of bites a little bit. They didn't really get in there, whereas me and Lewis continued to catch, and I think that was down to obviously swim location and us having the deeper water in front of us. It actually produced the biggest fish of the session for me. So I think the key to success in my swim was definitely, when I weren't fishing certain spots, keep the bait going in, keeping them getting down, getting on them, keeping them confident. And then when they were getting a rod on them, they were going quite quickly. So not sticking to one spot even though it was doing bites, making sure we had lots of options available was really good. The bait, we sort of all chipped in together, and Dan will probably explain a little bit more, we all came together with a big mix that we'd knock up in a bucket, and then we'd all just take from it as and when we needed it. And it worked well for everyone. So that was basically just a little summary of my approach, my hook baits, my rigs, sort of my swim and that. And now I'm going to pass you over to Lewis, that's going to talk you through what his approach was.
Coming out first in the draw is always a good thing, but it always puts yourself in a position to make mistakes. After the draw, we met with the owner Jeff, and he informed us the current pegs and which ones have been doing the most fish recently. But on the walk around, I saw fish in different areas, so I had a tough choice to make, but I decided to go with what I saw rather than what I was told. The far margin in my swim was full of fish, and once I arrived in the peg, before getting anything unpacked, I had to get a couple of singles out on the areas I've seen fish. And within minutes, the rods was away, and it was a real confidence boost for me, and boost for my swim, and a lot of pressure off. In terms of the areas for the rest of the week, the far margin really did produce the goods. The only time this changed was when we had the weather change Wednesday and Thursday, and the fish moved off into the deeper water areas. But myself and Dave did anticipate this and bait a few areas that came into good effect. My approach to fishing the far margin was a little different to Dave, as he was using a bait boat, and I found that to be a bit long-winded at times. I opted for a slightly different option. I was casting them to the far bank and then walking around and hand placing with a baiting spoon. I also did catch half my fish from casting, which I believed helped me get the rods out quicker and bank a few extra fish. In terms of the rig, it was a basic spinner rig on the deck with a mainline pastel barrel wafter. I believe some people call it a German rig. If I could give one tip for fishing Lake Juvana, it would be to try and approach the venue as a team and all work together, as you'll 100% put more fish on the bank. Daniel's now going to talk to you about his and Scott's area and a bit more on our baiting approach.
So you've heard briefly Dave and Lewis's approach, and this is a relatively new thing for us in videos really. Normally we just show the highlights of the session and stuff like that and how it went and our experience, but from previous videos we've had quite a few inboxes asking about approach and tactics, so we thought it was worth including it in this video. It's not us sitting there saying you must do this or you must buy this or you must use this. this is how it basically went down for us, and you know, this is what worked for us. Fishing's about putting all those sums together and then coming up with an equation and hopefully getting the right answer. And what we're doing by this tactics section is showing you what worked for us. Even for us throughout the week, the same thing didn't work the whole week. We had to make tweaks to continue catching. And I guess it's just a bit of an insight into what worked for us. And again, our experience and, you know, what made the session what it was, really. In terms of mine and Scott's tactics, they weren't dissimilar to Dave and Lewis, so I'm not going to go over it all. And you know, Dave and Lewis have pretty much covered it. Wafter rigs, pop-up rigs, really simple rigs. The only difference on our side was we didn't have the depth that they had. So when the weather changed come later in the week, the fish kind of definitely moved off. And I think it was the weather change, and I also think the fact that we hammered them obviously played a part in that too. But we only found about 5 foot in front of us on our side, and you know, on another week that 5 foot could have done loads of bites, but they did tend to move off, more so to Lewis's and Dave's side, and we still caught fish. We just didn't catch as many as they were catching on the other side. In general, an overview of our side, how I'd describe it would be that, you know, from Scott's corner all the way around, overhanging bushes, lovely to fish underneath, up against, and you can see the fish there. We had to keep moving. It weren't an area that were doing all the bites. Actually, the fish would do a couple of bites on the margin area, then they'd move to a new bush and another bush and another bush. So it's about actually having to go around there, walk around there, look what bush they were going to, get the bait out, get back on it. Also, we've done some stalking around the lake in some areas where we baited and we deliberately left it, let them get confident, go around there and nick a couple of quick fish. I think if the sun would have stayed out, me and Scott definitely would have pushed Dave and Lewis for numbers, because they were enjoying that margin so much. When that sun was out, it was full of them. They were moving up and down at different spots, but we were just working hard and moving the rods to the air and kept bouncing them off spots. But they wanted to move. The weather changed, whether it was from being hammered or whether it was from the weather. A bit of both, probably. Great thing about when they moved is Dave and Lewis then took advantage of that. So we carried on catching as a team, and we were there as a team. I don't think there was a bad swim. If I think back to it, I don't really think I would have minded in what swim I come out in. Every swim caught fish. Some swims did better than other, but that would always change what swim does what. And fair play to Lewis, you know, to come out first in a draw and ignore what the bailiff's saying about favourite swim and about how it's been the most popular and how it's done the most fish for weeks before and stuff like that, and say, you know what, I'm going on what I see rather than what I'm told. A bold move, and some weeks it wouldn't pay off, but this week it managed to pay off for him, and he managed 40 fish. In terms of our baiting approach, we all come together and decided we were going to make up a bucket. I say a bucket, I mean a bin. A bin load of bait, and this was going to be sort of our main feed bait. There's no nuisance fish present, and particles and stuff like that is banned. It's purely pellet and boiling water, so the mix was based around that too. We wanted something for every fish, so to speak, so we started off with a boilie crumb. We crushed up some link, got that down to a fine sort of dust, and then we added to that different pellets. We added some response pellet, PVA and spod pellet and bloodworm pellet, loads of different breakdown times there, really good thing. Then we added some stick mixes as well. And to that we added some 10mm boilies, some 10mm essential cell and cell, and then we added some matching essential cell syrups. Mix that all together, and that would sort of be our base, our food bait, see how they react to it. And we walked around and we started putting it in the edge, and the fish were loving it from the off, to be honest with you, and that got us really confident. You know, when you turn up at a new lake you've not fished before, you make up this mix, and straight away you see the fish reacting in a positive way to it. It's a real booster. That was kind of our feed bait, so to speak. When we were walking around, we'd go with scoops of that, and then we'd also catapult whole boilies, 15mm boilies over the top. That was kind of our main course sort of thing for the fish, something that they really wanted to get on, something that they're going to feed on. And then we had to think about the dessert, the hook bait. In terms of hook baits, I don't think it changes really anywhere. You want something that's high attraction, that the fish are going to try and pick up. You know, when they do come in the area and they start feeding, something that gets picked up first or early on, so you can get back out there and catch the fish while they're sitting over there scoffing the bait, basically. And we all done this. We all enhanced our hook baits, and there's loads and loads of options out there, different flavours, and it's about playing about and finding what works for you and what works, what combinations. There's a few combinations that I use and other people use, and we'll use the mixture. We never really use the same. We've all got our favourite thing. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the video. We really enjoyed our time on Juvana, and definitely a venue that I'd recommend, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.